Hey guys, good morning. I am super pumped for this power hour. We're going to do mainly working, not a lot of talking, but we are going to tell you something that's been really awesome for us. I cannot take credit for it. This is something that Sarah Brewer, who's one of my double diamonds, who's on here with me, this is something that she's been doing and she taught me to do it. And it's amazing. So most of you guys know what Host a Post is, where we reach out to people, ask them to do us a favor in exchange for some free product samples or whatever. We're going to do a little bit of that today, but we're actually going to start with doing some distributor Host a Post, meaning we're going to ask people to post something for us, but it's going to be to attract potential distributors instead of to attract potential customers. And so we're going to start with anyone that you've already asked to do a Host a Post for you that's done a post about the cleanse or hair, skin, and nails or coffee or whatever. Those are the people that we are going to start with today. You're going to go back to those people and we're going to put some messages in the chat that you can use, but it's just going to look something like this. Hey girl, you were so close last time to getting some free product. I wanted to see if you wanted to do me, a small favor again and make a different type of post. I'll send you a cute picture. Again, we'll put that message in the chat, but it's going to be more of a now hiring type of post, looking for people that are interested in making an extra $300 to $500 a month, something like that. We'll put the post sample in the chat as well as the messages. So again, we started with people that had already posted for us. There are some girls that posted for me that did earn free product because they referred some customers to me. And so with those people, I'm just saying, hey, your last post went over so well. Do you want to do another one for me in exchange for some different samples or for some more samples? And it's been awesome. So you guys are going to be able to add to your hundreds list and to be able to add some new friends on Facebook too. So Sarah already put some of the messages in the chat. I'm going to put mine. We'll put a post idea. I've been attaching a photo to mine. You guys can do that if you want. We just used WordSwag or some sort of app where you can add text and either added now hiring or Boss Babes, work from home, any of those things, just really small over the picture. But yeah, it's been good. And you guys know with Host a Post, sometimes you get very little. Sometimes you hit the jackpot. So it's more important that we just get out and ask more people. So we're going to do that for the first 20 minutes. If you have not done Host a Post, you just start asking people if they, hey girl, fun question for you. When they respond, then you're going to ask them to do a small favor for you by posting something on their wall. And again, those messages will be in the chat. So make sure you look at the chat through there, use those messages. Hopefully you guys have a list of people to contact. If you don't, just start going through your friends list, go through people who are viewing your story, go through people that are liking or commenting on your stuff. But I know, like, for example, Sarah has just gone back to starting at the A's and going through the letters of the alphabet, because eventually you run out, you get the same people liking your stuff all the time. So you run out of people to ask. So you can go through your friends list if you need as well. So we'll do that until about 9:50-ish Central Time. And let me put my stuff in the chat. I'm going to put that music back on. So if you guys have questions, you can put them in the chat for us.
I close my eyes and colors fly. There's no hiding from your grace. I can't deny you're half of mine, and it's unrelenting chase. I was on the edge of deception, caught up in my own hesitation, until your love took over me. So I let go and I let love. Don't be like it's supposed to be. On a oasis, you're a oasis. All the freedom I'll ever need. Now I'm alive. Oh la la, oh la la. When I let go and I fall. life unlike before. My father's heart is beckoning, and I can't resist no more. Lead me in the ways of devotion. I don't wanna get caught in the motions. My heart is only for you. So I let go and I let love. Show me life like it's supposed to be. On a oasis, you oasis. All the freedom I'll ever need. Now I'm alive. Oh la la, oh la la. When I let go, then I'm alive. Oh la la, oh la la. When I let go, then I'm alive. So I let go and I let love. Show me life like it's supposed to be. On oasis, your oasis. All the freedom I'll ever need. Now I'm alive. When I let go, then I'm alive. When I let go, then I'm alive. When I let go, then I'm alive. Oh la la, oh la la. When I let go, then I'm alive. Oh la la, oh la la. When I let go, then I'm alive.
Walgreens has you covered with the trusted summer essentials you need.
P.S. On my last message I put in the chat, I do not normally send a full-size product of choice, but this girl has referred me a lot of people over the last year. So, and she's a loyal customer. So I treat her a little bit differently because she sends me a lot of people. So normally it's a few samples or a sample pack, just so y'all know, and don't get confused. Don't stress over having to send people a full product. Okay, that's all. Continue. And then I also just added the first message that I've sent to people if they comment on one of the distributor host to post. If I can look at their profile and kind of creep on them, I might add a little bit more depending on where they're from or just anything I can see on their page to relate to. Some of the people hadn't accepted my friend request yet, so I can't always see their whole page. But for example, like several of the girls were from Lubbock this last time that someone posted for me. And so I would say, hey, like I saw you're in Lubbock. I lived there for 8 years. And then I would, you know, I'm going back in a few months to visit. And then I would send the rest of the message, try to make it as personal as possible.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Like if I see something in common about like if they have a baby or something, you know, I've got a baby too. And yeah, I definitely add a little personal touch. That's just kind of the skeleton in the chat.
Love it.
Could you help me break down all these question marks and make me fight like a soldier, rise like a warrior, won't stop till the final day. I wanna be stronger, gonna be bolder. Look up and I see the way you make me. I know I'm no superwoman, but impossible is possible with you. So no more running, no more hiding. Strike the fire so I'll be fearless too. And make me fight like a soldier, rise like a warrior, won't stop till the final day. I wanna be stronger, gonna be bolder. Look up and I see the way you make me. Go with me, still I'll follow through the joy and through the sorrow. Cross before me, world behind me, there's no turning back. Brave, brave, brave. Fight like a soldier, rise like a warrior, won't stop till the final day. I wanna be stronger, gonna be bolder. Look up and I see the way you make me brave. Fight like a soldier, rise like a warrior, won't stop till the final day. I wanna be stronger, gonna be bolder. Look up and I see the way you make me brave. I try to fit you in, always inside my mind. I try to keep you safely in between the lines. I try to put you in the box that I've designed. I try to pull you down so we are eye to eye. When did I forget that you've always been? I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure love. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak. And you say I'm held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe the only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my...
Okay, now we're gonna do the other type of host to post that we do. It's for products. This has been extremely successful for me. It's not successful every single day and every time, every person that I message, but that's just kind of part of this business. Some people are going to have a great turnout to their posts and some people aren't. And the great thing is this isn't really any work. So it's not, if somebody's post doesn't get a lot of comments, that doesn't really, it doesn't put us back anything. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to do some product host to post. And the way that I go about doing this is I get people, the places I find people to ask are those who like and comment on my posts, any of my posts, not just product and business posts, any posts. I write those names down. What I do is I write everybody's names down at night so I can have a list for the next morning. But today we'll just kind of like get people as we go. And then you can just know that like tonight you can make a list for tomorrow. So likes and comments on any of my posts, people who view my stories on Facebook and on Instagram. And I've recently started just going through the alphabet of my friends list. I've started at the A's. I'm in the C's now. And that's just, it's as simple as, hey babe, I've got a fun question for you. Or hey girl, I've got a fun question for you. And I put the little heart eye emoji. And some people respond, some people don't. It's really not a big deal. For the most part, most people do respond. So let's do 20 minutes of literally just sending, hey girl, I've got a fun question for you. As people respond, if you want to say something in the chat, like this person responded, I have like ways that I reach out to the people who respond and stuff. I can kind of go through that as people start responding to you. I try to get out at least 10 before I start responding to people, because some people respond right away and be like, what's up? And I try to get at least 10 like, hey girl, I've got a fun question for you messages out, or else you'll only send like 2, but you'll be talking to people. And so you think you're sending out a lot, but it's really like 2 or 3 that you've sent out. So I know that happens to me all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to so many people. And no, you're just talking to the same two people all morning. So yeah, my suggestion is get out 10, and then you can respond to the couple people that have said, what's up? Get out 10 more. So we'll do that for the next 20 minutes as people just comment in the chat as people are, Alyssa's putting stuff in there. Great.
No, those are.
Yep, perfect. Okay, so Alyssa's actually putting.
I can. I haven't yet.
Oh, okay. You do? Okay.
was
Okay.
earlier.
So yeah, me and Alyssa will put kind of what we say to people who comment on people's host to post, and we'll put some host to post ideas. It's honestly no different than the stuff that we post about when we post about the cleanse, when we post about hair, skin, nails, and we're like, hey, you know, I've got a couple discount spots. Da, da, da. It's no different than that. Pretend like they're a new distributor, and you're giving them their very first product post to post on their wall. Except for you're just going to say, my friend Sarah is looking for, you know, a couple product testers, da 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 da, instead of them looking for product testers. So don't make it too complicated. It's exactly what we do. It's just having somebody else do it for you. Okay, so let's do the things.
I don't know if you may have said this, but anyone that comments, I send them a friend request. I think Sarah does the same thing.
Yep.
Because the thing is, we like to reinforce what we send them by posting that week about the cleanse or about the coffee or whatever they posted about. Because now you have all these people that showed interest in this product. They might not sign right away, but they're going to watch you, and eventually they're going to want to order. So I like for them to keep following my page, because I know that a lot of them will order right on the spot. And also it's great because then if they say they can't afford it or whatever, and we'll do this later, but you can go back and ask them to host a post. So you want to be friends with them so that they can tag you if they're going to host a post for you later. So.
Yep. I friend request people who comment and people who like. Everybody gets a friend request.
Yep. And if anyone comments, I know we're going to put in the chat what we send them. Make sure that you don't comment back to them and answer their questions. Say, I'll message you, and then message them. You should do that on any post you ever make, but host to post is the same. If someone says, how much is it? Say, I'll message you. Don't answer their questions in the comments, because then anyone that's looking at their post now knows the answer to that question, and they no longer even have to ask or show interest. They can just creep through the comments and then never say a thing, and then you'll never know they were interested.
Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You'll have every failure, God. You'll have every victory. Ooh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, oh, you say I'm yours. And I believe. Captivated, I say it, I'm on a whole new retreat. My space invaded, upgraded, I hear you talking to me. It's in the boom of the thunder, it's in the cool of the rain. And I'll say, I don't ever wanna get away. Tonight is beautiful, it's got my mind on you. And everywhere I turn is a reminder. I see you in everything, all day. And every beat of my heart keeps reminding me. I see you in every little thing, all day. No matter where I go, I know your love is finding me. I see you in everything. You're all up in everything. My soul's awakened, I'm taken by all the beauty you bring. You got it blaring, I'm staring, love watching you do your thing. There's no mistaking your style, no mistaking your touch. I see the grin, I see the subtle of your love. Lord, I see you in everything, all day. And every beat of my heart keeps reminding me. I see you in every little thing, all day. No matter where I go, I know your love is finding me. It's finding me in everything, all day. And every beat of my heart keeps reminding me. I see you in every little thing, all day. No matter where I go, I know your love is finding me. Tonight is beautiful. It's got my mind on you. And everywhere I turn is a reminder. Sparkle in her eyes, starlit open skies. You bring my heart to life, fill me with wonder. I see you in everything, all day, all day. And every beat of my heart keeps reminding me. I see you in every little thing, all day, all day. No matter where I go, I know your love is finding me. I see you in everything. You're all up in everything. I see you in everything. You're all up in everything. Oh, I can see your love in everything. And that's why you'll always be my everything. Yeah, I can see your love in everything. And that's why you'll always be my everything.
It's absolute confidence in genuine Mercedes-Benz parts, or
Okay, so in the chat, you should see the, hey girl, I have a fun question. When they respond, you'll see the response that we send them. Then we sent the post example that you can use. You can always tweak that or do a different product if you want. That's just what we've been having luck with. I always change the wording a little bit on the post that I have them make, just so that Facebook doesn't pick up that we're just copy and pasting the same thing over and over. And I know Sarah often does a cute like swimsuit pic with hers. Like you can find them on Pinterest or like go to any website that you like for a cute swimsuit picture. I've done it with before and afters and have had good luck. Sometimes I just do it without any picture at all. Again, it's we never know which post or which picture or which person is going to have the post at the right time. So it's just something that for us is kind of a non-negotiable, is that we send out some host to post feelers and try it, because like she said, it just doesn't hurt. And then I also wanted to tell you, if you haven't kept really good track of people that have done host to post for you, and you want to go back and ask people to do the business one that we talked about, just search on Facebook, like my friend Alyssa or my friend Sarah, and you can find the posts that people have tagged you in. Just click at the very top of Facebook in the search box. I always just go, my friend Alyssa, and then I click post. And it'll show you, I mean, I've had people do host to post for me over the last couple years. So I've even gone back to people that did host posts for me in 2017. So I wanted to tell you that before we get on to the next thing. You guys still have a few minutes to send out your feelers, but wanted to go ahead and say that before I forgot.
Sorry, gonna say one more thing. There's a question in the chat about if you follow somebody on Instagram and they don't follow you back, will they see your message? It goes to like a request inbox, kind of the same as Facebook. So it won't pop up like in their regular DMs. So I've heard both things. Some people wait until the person follows them back. Like if you kind of keep track of who's commenting on a post on Instagram. I personally wouldn't wait. I would just request to follow them, send them the message, and keep track, like, okay, over the next couple of days, like, did that person follow me back? Did they see my message? Stuff like that. I just don't like to wait, because I'm like, I'll get the information out to you, and if you don't see it right away, that's fine. You can even comment on one of their posts and be like, hey, babe, I saw that you commented on so-and-so's post. I'm going to send you a DM. Like, you can comment on their latest Instagram post and say that.
Someone asked, do you space out your host to post? I don't accept any of them to my wall. I have it to where I have to approve things. You don't want someone to come to your page and see like just blasted with host to post. So change your settings and make it to where you have to approve it. So I let them tag me, but it doesn't show up on my wall. So yes, it's ideal if you have multiple host to posts going on at the same time, because that's just more potentials for you. It can get a little bit of crazy, but whenever this business feels a little bit of crazy, then you are on the right track. So yeah.
It's a really good like adrenaline feeling, like, oh my gosh, I have 5 host to posts going right now. It like makes you feel busy in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
So I know Alyssa has them tag them in the post. I personally don't. I tell the person like, hey, don't worry about tagging me in the actual post. Just tag my name in the comments and I'll follow along. Some people still tag me in the post and whatever. But I know for me, I just have them tag me in the comments instead of the post. Also, if they're tagging me in every comment that somebody makes, that boosts their post up to the top of the page. I've actually had several people have really good success. So I sometimes tell people like, tag me in each comment that somebody makes, and I'll reach out to them. You don't have to answer their questions, just tag my name. So it's honestly just kind of figuring it out. There's no 100% success rate with it. It's just a fun thing. So, okay.
Yeah, I do it both ways. I haven't noticed a huge difference whether they tag me in the comments or in the post. But for whatever reason, I do get the notifications stay up longer if they tag me in the post. A lot of times I miss it. Even if I'm following the comments, it's like they don't stick as long. And I just, for whatever reason, sometimes miss the notifications when they only tag me in the comments. So.
Yeah, I don't get notifications when they tag me in the comments. I save their post and I just watch it. But yeah, it's just kind of what organization do you want to use there? Like I said, there's no 100% success rate.
A lot of it, this business, you guys know, it's just trial and error. Just figure out what works for you. Nothing's going to make or break your business unless you just stop doing it. So,
yeah.
You guys got a few more minutes.
I'm captivated, I say it, I'm on a whole new retreat. My space invaded, upgraded, I hear you talking to me. It's in the boom of the thunder, it's in the cool of the rain. And I say, I don't ever wanna get away. Tonight is beautiful, it's got my mind on you. And everywhere I turn is a reminder. I see you in everything, all day. And every beat of my heart keeps reminding me. I see you in every little thing, all day. No matter where I go, I know your love is finding me. I see you in everything. You're all up in everything. My soul's awakened, I'm taken by all the beauty you bring. You got it blaring, I'm staring, love watching you do your thing. There's no mistaking your style, no mistaking your touch. I see the grin, I see the subtle of your love. Lord, I see you in everything, all day. And every beat of my heart keeps reminding me. I see you in every little thing, all day. No matter where I go, I know your love is finding me. It's finding me in everything, all day. And every beat of my heart keeps reminding me. I see you in every little thing, all day. No matter where I go, I know your love is finding me. Tonight is beautiful. It's got my mind on you. And everywhere I turn is a reminder. Sparkle in her eyes, starlit open skies. You bring my heart to life, fill me with
Okay. For these next 10 minutes, we are going to follow up with host-to-post people that never posted or people that didn't respond to your Fun Girl question for you, or you sent them the details and they didn't respond. We're going back and following up with those people just like we would follow up with a potential customer, potential distributor. Honestly, the people that get the information and then don't post, I just pretend like I don't know if they posted or not. I just go back to them and say, hey girl, did you ever have a chance to throw up that post for me? I appreciate it so much. And so go through those people that you've asked previously to post for you. If you haven't been doing host to post, again, you won't have people to follow up with like that. So either continue to send out feelers for the next 10 minutes, get out quite a few more, or spend the next 10 minutes growing your network, adding some Facebook friends, connecting with people, adding Facebook friends. Do not just aimlessly scroll for the next 10 minutes. Okay. All right.
I see you in everything, all day, all day. And every beat of my heart keeps reminding me. I see you in every little thing, all day, all day. No matter where I go, I know your love is finding me. I see you in everything. You're all up in everything. I see you in everything. You're all up in everything. Oh, I can see your love, everything. And that's why you'll always be my everything. Yeah, I can see your love and everything. And that's why you'll always be my everything. the sound of sleeping. Too afraid of what might show up while you're dreaming. Nobody sees you. Nobody will believe. Every day you try to pick up all the pieces, all the memories they somehow never leave you. Nobody sees you. Nobody will believe. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows. You keep a cover over every single secret. So afraid if someone saw them they would leave. But somebody sees you. Somebody will never leave you. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows. For the lonely, for the ashamed, the misunderstood and the ones to blame. What if we could start over? We could start over. We could start over. Oh, for the lonely, for the ashamed, the misunderstood and the ones to blame. What if we could start over? We could start over. We could start over. There's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows where to find you. God only knows how to break through. God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows.
I just put a sample message in the chat, by the way, for people that you said, hey girl, I have a fun question for you, or something like that, and they didn't respond. A lot of times if you apologize, they'll come back and say something.
I give you glory for all you've brought me through.
Okay, so for these last 10 minutes, we're going to send follow-ups to people who possibly they commented on the person's post, but they either didn't respond to your very first message, or they stopped responding somewhere in the conversation, or they gave you some sort of no, like they can't afford it right now, or maybe they even said they're not interested. I always ask people, like, what made them change their mind. If they say they can't afford it, obviously that's your answer. But if they all of a sudden are like, oh, I'm not interested anymore, I'm like, oh, was there something that changed your mind? And then usually it's because they can't afford it right now. If people can't afford it, that's totally fine. No need to, keep being like, oh, well, you should just buy it anyway. You can change them. You can switch them into a host to post. I've had a ton of people post statuses for me who started out as a potential loyal customer. And I know it can seem kind of funny because you're like, but I still want them to be a loyal customer. But isn't like 3 new loyal customers from their feed plus that person eventually better than just that one loyal customer? So what I usually say is, like, if they can't afford it, I'm just like, oh, girl, that's totally understandable. I would love to still send you a free goodie. And then in like our chat we have, I explain like how to do the host to post. So I just take from there. Like, I'd love to still send you a free goodie. You don't have to spend any money. All you'll do is post a cute status. I'll send you the words and a picture. And when I get 3 product testers, I'll send you a free package. And most people will be like, oh yeah, that sounds awesome. So you kind of just pull from your typical description of doing a host to post, but add to it, obviously based on, oh, you can't afford it right now. And then people who don't respond to like my very first message, or they commented on the post but they don't respond to my first message, or they just stop responding somewhere in the conversation. And I just want you guys to know, like, from the very beginning of this, when people don't respond to you, it's not personal. 99% of the time, they opened it and they forgot about it. They have lives. This isn't on the forefront of their mind. How many times have you gone to Amazon or another website and put things in your cart, and then something happens, you get busy, a week goes by, and you're like, oh, I never bought whatever thing was in my cart? That happens to me all the time. Or how many times do you go to the store for one thing and you forget that one thing and you get all the other things? People's brains, there's just other things on people's brains. We don't matter that much to people. So don't get upset, don't get offended if somebody doesn't respond to you. It's not you. It's just about follow-up. So if I send my first message and the person doesn't respond, I'm not like, oh, they commented on the post, why didn't they respond? Well, they just got busy. So I usually just say, like, hey girl, I'm putting in some cleanse orders, or whatever product it was. I'm putting in some cleanse orders. Were you still interested in some more information about the cleanse that Brittany posted about? And usually they're like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to respond to this. Or some people, for some reason, don't see the message right away until we're friends. So yeah, 9 out of 10 times that will get the conversation going. Or if we were talking and maybe I told them the price, or I told them about the loyal customer program, if they didn't respond to that, again, that's not because they hate you and they just got busy, or they got a little scared. They're like, $36, that sounds kind of high. But we need to explain, like, okay, this is all that you get. This is what it's going to do for your body. And if it's too high, turn them into a host to post. So usually what I do if somebody stops responding in the middle of a conversation, I kind of go based off of what information I've given them. But for the most part, as long as I've told them the price and as long as I've told them about the loyal customer program, I'll literally just say, hey girl, I'm putting some cleanse orders in. Did you want me to get you all set too? And a lot of the times people are like, oh yeah, how do I order it? And then I say, I can get you all set. Here's the information that I need. You can text it to me if you want. And I send them the little list of like all the information that they need, or that I need. Yeah, I don't send them for me personally, I don't send them my website right away. I like to enroll people for them. If sometimes people are like, oh, I'm not comfortable with that, there are ways kind of to comfort people, like sending a text message and then deleting it and sending them a screenshot so that they know you deleted their information. There is an encrypted private message on Facebook Messenger that you can send people, where your messages delete, kind of like Snapchat. They delete after a certain amount of time. That's been successful for me. But yeah, those are the ways that I follow up with people who stop responding. And I just know, I just don't take offense to it anymore. Like when people don't respond to me, I'm just like, that's fine, I'll follow up with them tomorrow. Like that means that I have something to do tomorrow, you know? Not like I want everybody to not respond to me, but it's kind of nice because it's like, oh, I've got all these follow-ups to do because all these people didn't respond to me. It's fine. So for the next few minutes, you guys can follow up with people. I'll put some messages like of what I said. What do you do if you sent a message from someone who is interested in the host post but never checked their message? I just kind of follow up again. I just act like I didn't see that they didn't check their message. That's another thing is people get the notification that they got a message on Facebook, but then they swipe it away, and it's no longer, if they don't open up their messenger every day, like we open up our messenger every single day because we're working in our messenger, but not everybody opens up their messenger every day. So if somebody doesn't see the message, I just send another one like, hey girl, hope that didn't offend you, or hey girl, hope that didn't bug you. And usually people respond like, oh no, you know, I just totally forgot. So yeah, follow up. A lot
of times I will message them and just say, hey, I wanted to make sure you saw this because depending on when we became friends, it may have gone to your others folder. And
yep.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is sometimes because sometimes I know that we became friends before I sent the message, but it at least gets them talking. And you can also go back to the host to post they commented on and comment back and just say, hey, I never heard back from you. I just wanted to make sure you got it. Because that also boosts that host to post again, just to like add more interaction on it. Cindy asked, do you do host to post on Instagram? We were just talking about this the other day. We've been sticking mainly to Facebook right now, but we were just talking about how, especially with the now hiring post, because the picture is like so much more like appealing and just cute because it can be like a phone or girls on their phone or whatever. It'll be easier to have people post it on their actual feed because I have a hard time with people wanting to post like a before and after or something in their feed or a picture of a product. So like hair models are good too because you can just find a cute fishtail picture and put hair models needed and have them tag you. I tried a couple of times with doing it in a story, but it was just too complicated, especially if I didn't know the person that was posting. Like I felt weird asking them to show me everyone that voted on the poll, and there was no other way really to like know that they referred me someone without the poll. So I think the trick with Instagram, and I did tell Sarah I would try that this week and I haven't, but I think the trick is going to be getting them to post in their feed. And it might be a matter of changing the way we message them. You might have to like send them an example of what you'd have them post. So that way they know right away, like, oh, it's going to be like something cute. Because I would be nervous if someone messaged me to post something on my Instagram. I'm like, well, it depends on what it looks like or it depends on what it is. So anyways. All right, I will be on here. So if you guys can stay on here and work a little bit, I'm going to put music back on. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. But that's all. So hopefully you guys have lots of good host to post luck this week.